There's no way I'm going to become a part of Japanese society until I figure out its two religions, Buddhism and Shinto. So I'm heading to Mount Koya, the monastic headquarters of Shingon Buddhism. It's quite a popular destination. There's even a cable car to take tourists to the top. But a few of us choose to enter Koyasan as pilgrims, passing through the gates protected by the Kobo Daishi, the guardians of the temples, and we enter into another world. Where little has changed since the Saint Kobo Daishi first built this place 1,200 years ago. Here the monks are taught secret formulas in order to escape the endless cycle of reincarnation, and one day themselves become Buddhas. But it's not an easy path to take. Life in the monastery is simple and austere. They tell me that it's meant to rid the monks of their desire for worldly pleasures and possessions. All meals are vegetarian. Clear miso soup for breakfast, a single bowl of rice, and as a special treat, a piece of pickle. We don't have much time to enjoy the food. The meal lasts just 5 minutes, so I eat as fast as I can. When we're finished, every grain of sacred rice is hunted down, and green tea used to scrub out the empty bowls. Even that doesn't go to waste. Everyone takes a moment to give thanks and tidy up, and then it's back to prayers. Unless you're on kitchen patrol. The monastery can host over 300 pilgrims at a time, a daunting task given the Japanese fondness for tiny bowls. But the chief task of the acolytes is to keep the temple clean. That means wiping every foot of every corridor by hand before the sun comes up each day. It takes hours, even when we all pitch in to help. A little innovation goes a long way. There's only one way out of daily chores. These two monks are in the middle of a special training. They get up at 4 a.m. each day to chant sutras. At noon, they make the rounds of all the temples, rain or shine. For 105 days, they do little else but pray and walk and take lessons. All those sutras don't just happen by themselves. It's not enough to just say the sutras. You have to sing them. The book tells you how to pronounce each phrase and how to chant it properly. Everything, in fact, except what each passage means. But this may be the most important task of all, both a privilege and an enormous responsibility. Especially today. We have an assembly scheduled for this afternoon. That kind of concentration only comes with years of training. It's time. Buddhism began in India and was first introduced to Japan about 1,400 years ago. Back then it was profoundly pessimistic, preaching that all life is suffering, that we must rid ourselves of desire and ego in order to merge with the world as though a drop in the ocean. The Saint Kobo Daishi helped bring Buddhism to the masses and changed it into a more hopeful religion. Kobo preached that we can become Buddha in a single lifetime, provided we follow the correct path, which in this case leads to Kobo Daishi's tomb. It goes straight through Koyasan's famous cemetery. To be buried here means you go directly to the western shore, to paradise. We've reached the founder's resting place. But Saint Kobo Daishi didn't exactly die. In 835 AD, he went into a state of permanent meditation. He still gets fed each day. And once a year his clothes are changed because they get worn out from his spiritual wanderings. But life at Koyasan isn't all meditation and prayers. Even within the monastery's sacred halls, the modern world has managed to sneak in. And all those hours of concentration pay off in unexpected ways. Despite some unusual choices, they're still just ordinary kids. Until the 5 a.m. bell. We all gather for the fire ceremony. The goma is one of the most sacred rituals at Koyasan. They believe the fire opens up a portal between the monk and the universal mind of Buddha. But first, he must burn 108 sticks to purify himself of all Buddhist sins. Then he adds a bit of oil, salt, and other herbs. If he does it exactly right, then he will be given the power to work miracles, to cure the sick, or keep travelers safe from harm. Which is a good thing, because not all pilgrims come here just to see Koya's famous architecture. For some, this is the beginning of a 900-mile pilgrimage. They're going for all sorts of reasons. To cure an illness, to find spiritual comfort, or sometimes just to have an adventure with friends. But for all of us, Koyasan is the starting point on a journey to enlightenment. It's a journey that I too am about to begin.